I had to wear this again because we are still here, suckers. After everyone said that we were going to lose to this generational Texans defense, and don't get me wrong, they were spectacular, but ultimately, our defense was just better. Who would have thought? Our defense was so good because Drake May literally had the worst game of his career. Even worse than his rookie season where he started just a handful of games. Worse than those. That Texans defense was so good, so good. But also, our offensive line, are the left side of our offensive line, because our right side was spectacular. Morgan Moses, Mike Owenu, um, our Garrett Bradbury, our center, clean sheet, no pressures, no sacks, no nothing. Our left side, however, in fairness, they're rookies who are playing their first NFL season, and NFL players in the NFL game is a whole different animal than the collegiate game. It's much more sped up. Uh, they struggled, especially Will Campbell. And Mike Vrabel does this thing at the end of every game where he high fives and hugs and congratulates the players. And Will Campbell came in and he looked so defeated. It literally broke my heart because it looked like he was on the verge of tears. And I understand that that was a really bad game. Drake May was strip sacked 3 times because Will Campbell could not contain Will Anderson. But also Will Anderson, he's actually up for like defensive player of the year. That guy is a phenomenal player. This is Will Campbell's rookie season. And also, let us not forget that he's coming off his first major injury of his career, high school, collegiate, professional. He's never been injured the way that he was injured in that Bengals game. And quite frankly, I didn't think that we were going to see Will Campbell again, given the fact that he was carted off, towel over his head, tears streaming down his face. If you would have told me that 4 games later he would be playing in the playoffs as the starting left tackle, I would have said no way. So I don't think that Will Campbell is necessarily 100% healthy, and I don't think that helps any when he's facing these otherworldly pass rushers. And we also can't forget that Matt Light, who was one of the greatest left tackles in Patriots history, could even make the argument one of the greatest left tackles of all time. But he struggled against guys like Lawrence Taylor and DeMarcus Ware and Jason Pierre-Paul and the guys that he faced. And so I think because there's been a lot of talk about moving Will Campbell left guard and trying to go out and drafting another left tackle. And it's not like left tackles grow on trees. That's a pretty tough position to come by. And like Dante Scarnecchia has said, as the greatest offensive line coach of all time, it doesn't matter your arm length, it matters what technique you learn. And I think that he's going to take this off season and focus on technique and putting weight on and conditioning and things that as a rookie they don't typically do until they have a first season under their belt. So not his best game. We did fumble the ball 4 times, but we recovered 2 of them. Will Campbell recovered 2 of them. So the Texans only got 2 of the turnovers that were caused. And they did convert one of those turnovers into a touchdown, whereas our offense could not do anything after like the first play or the first drive of the first quarter. And then it wasn't until later on, as the game was winding down, that they finally started driving and making plays. But we did win 28 to 16? 28 to 16, yes. Because one of my friends asked me the final score, and I said it would be 30 to 14. So it was pretty close, if I do say so myself. But what a game. It was another defensive masterpiece on both sides of the ball. And it was also a really poor weather game. It was where I lived, it was snowing all day long. And in Foxborough, it was raining at the start of the game. And so for the first like 2.5 quarters, it was raining. And I think that clearly affects the ball and the way that it comes out of the quarterback's hands and the way the receivers are able to get it, because slick balls are hard to catch. And then it turned into pretty good snow at there like halfway through the third quarter into finishing up the rest of the game. So it was a poor weather game. Kind of wish they were playing at home though on Sunday, because we're supposed to get a foot of snow and it would be another potential epic snow game. But it was really fun to see, like, Zac Efron was there. I don't know why he was there, but he was there. And there were so many Patriots players. Randy Moss was there. Ty Law was there. Teddy Bruschi was there. James White, David Andrews, Rob Ninkovich. It was so fun. We were relevant again and just totally fun. But Drake May threw for 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, which I don't think the interception should count, because the only interception he threw was literally a Hail Mary at the end of the first half to see if they could score within the final seconds. And Houston obviously intercepted the ball, so that's a bogus interception. I don't think that should count for any quarterback who gets intercepted on a Hail Mary. Like, obviously that's going to happen. But we like march down the first drive of the game. We go for it on 4th down. Pop Douglas runs it in for a touchdown. Roof blows off the place. I don't think I've ever heard Gillette Stadium as loud as I heard it on Sunday. And we were like, yes, the Denver defense isn't going to do anything, which the way people talked about Houston, the way people talked about Houston and their defense, and all week long, we heard how there's no way the Patriots were going to beat this Texans defense. They were the greatest defense in like a generation, like the best defense that has been on the field since the Steelers in like the 70s, is what I've heard. I don't know how true that is given some of these other defenses like the Legion of Boom in the no-fly zone and some of these other ones that are pretty good. But all we heard all week long is how Houston was going to bounce us because their defense was so good and Drake May wasn't going to be able to do anything about it. Well, he did. And one of the things I appreciate about Drake May is that he makes mistakes, but he doesn't let it get into his head. And you saw the opposite happen with CJ Stroud. I don't know where this defense for the Patriots has been. They were not here like this in the regular season. It's like they waited until postseason, and then all of a sudden they're going for it on 1st down instead of like letting the opposing team like pick up their yardage on 1st and 2nd down and then really tightening up on 3rd down and hoping they don't convert. But this time they're putting them into 2nd and long and 3rd and long scenarios, and that's really helping with being able to get to the quarterback. It was like a battle of the turnovers because we're turning the ball over. Our defense gets on the field, immediately gets the ball back, and we turn the ball over again, and we could not capitalize on any turnovers. We could not make points. And here I was on my last video before this where I was like, oh man, don't turn the ball over 5 times against the Patriots because we'll make you pay for it. We did not. We could not score to save our life on any turnover that the defense got for us. The defense finally had to take matters into their own hands, and Marcus Jones pick 6 that ball into the end zone. He had a little help with a little face mask. The guy literally face masked him right into the end zone. So thank you, Texans offense, for that. But you saw the way that CJ Stroud just like melted down. The longer the game went, the more mistakes he made, that he could not compartmentalize and just go out and make plays. Whereas Drake had three strip sacks, an interception. He fumbled the ball on a quarterback sneak where he wasn't, I don't know what he was expecting, but the guy comes under and like pops the ball out and he fumbles the ball. And that was literally like the one touchdown that the Houston Texans scored came from a Drake May turnover. But one thing I love about him is that he doesn't let that bother him. He doesn't let it get into his head. And he went out and he made some big boy throws. Some of these deep balls to Kayshon Boutte were chef's kiss, like gorgeous. And even with the worst game of his career, he had MVP like moments. And I can appreciate that. And that he throws the touchdown to Pop Douglas. We like don't do anything. And then we finally get into the red zone. And I think it was the second quarter. And he throws this absolute dime to Stefon Diggs. And the control that Stefon Diggs had to grab that ball in traffic, hold on, because it was literally threaded right through two defenders. He grabs that ball, holds on while he's being whacked by two linebackers, and just holds that ball and scores a touchdown. My favorite, he's like staring at his hands like, what? I did that? And trust me, like the roof on my house was off. I was screaming, my brother-in-law screaming, my dog is barking, my sister's looking at us like we're two idiots because she just doesn't understand how fun it is to root for a football team. But we were going nuts, and I loved that throw. I loved that catch. And then it was like we couldn't get anything started. And then Kayshon Boutte, booty, rocking everywhere. Literally, one of the most beautiful throws I think I've ever seen. Or I'm sorry, catches. One of the most beautiful catches I think I've ever seen, where he literally just Drake May throws it to where only he could potentially get it, but I literally thought it was going to be knocked incomplete. He one-handed pulls that thing in. Touchdown, dagger. That was that. Game. We said game. And my brother-in-law and I also lost our dang minds over that catch, because that's usually the type of catch that goes against the Patriots and causes us to lose a game. We typically don't get those types of like otherworldly one-handed crazy catches outside of the Julian Edelman one in the Atlanta Falcons Super Bowl and this one. So exciting. After all the pundits picked the Texans to win, literally the entire NFL network said the Texans were going to win. No one thought the Patriots could do it. All those Texans fans chirping all week long, telling us how there's no way we were going to get past this defense, that they were going to make Drake May look awful, and they did. They really did. But he had enough mental toughness to put up 3 touchdowns on that defense, which was the first time all season that defense has given up 3 touchdowns to a quarterback. Patrick Mahomes had 3 interceptions, no touchdowns. Josh Allen had 3 interceptions, no touchdowns, which that's a whole other situation going on there in Buffalo. And as a Pats fan, love to see it. We've broken the Buffalo Bills. We're back, baby. But Matt Stafford, MVP contender, only threw 1 touchdown on that Texans defense. Drake May had 3. So proud of my quarterback, youngest quarterback in the playoffs. Still here, baby, still here. And now we're flying to Denver, and we are facing the backup quarterback, Jared Stidham, who was drafted by the Patriots, was going to be the starter after Tom Brady left, lost his job to Cam Newton. But if you listen to the national sports media, if you listen to the Denver fans, if you listen to the Denver Broncos, Jared Stidham is the second coming of Tom Brady. He is an all-world quarterback. We have no hope. He is the weapon that Sean Payton has been cooking up in the lab, and we are in for it. We are just going to poop the bed, and Jared Stidham is going to wash the floor with the New England Patriots, even though he hasn't thrown a snap since 2023, or he hasn't taken a snap since 2023 in an NFL game, only in preseason. And one of the defensive players for the Broncos today literally said that Jared Stidham was a better quarterback than the Patriots starting quarterback, who is up for most valuable player of the year and offensive player of the year. But apparently Jared Stidham is better than Drake May. And I don't know what to say about that. But all I wonder is that if Jared Stidham was as good as they're saying, why is he a backup in a league where there's like 7 or 8 teams desperate for the second coming of Tom Brady? Because apparently that's what he is. So it's not going to be an easy test going to Denver. The Patriots have historically struggled in Denver, but we have a new coach, we have a new quarterback, we have a new offense. And fun fact, Josh McDaniels is a big Jared Stidham fan, and he's part of the reason why he was drafted to the Patriots, and he was traded to Las Vegas when Josh McDaniels went there. But we'll have to wait and see. The Denver defense is so good that it allowed Josh Allen to put up 30 points on them on Saturday. But that's a whole nother drama going on. And we're back when we win the AFC East, we make it to the AFC Championship, and the Bills are firing their coach, the best coach they've had in 17 years. And they fired him because Brandon Cooks caught the ball and they ruled it an interception. And I don't even feel bad for them, because that's the exact same play in the second meeting we had with the Buffalo Bills, where they ruled it a catch for the Bills, even though Marcus Jones had intercepted it, and they ruled the offensive player had wins the tie or something like that. And then it went against them. I would rather have it go against us in the regular season than in the postseason. And now the Bills are broken, and their Super Bowl window has slammed shut. And will Josh Allen stay there now that Sean McDermott's gone? I don't know. Their new GM, part of the reason why they have the roster that they do. So it's good to be a Pats fan. And I can't believe we went from being the worst team in the league last season to going to the AFC Championship this season. And Mac Hollins came back today, and he was practicing. And so we are now on the countdown to activating him from IR. And he is such a good, big-bodied receiver who can make contested catches and be a great run blocker. And we beat the top defense in the league on Sunday, and the New England Patriots defense showed up. They forced 5 or 6 turnovers. They ran one back for a touchdown. They got quite a few sacks. I mean, CJ Stroud's quarterback rating was 28. He was 20 of 47. 47 pass attempts, and he completed less than half of that. I don't know when our defense is going to start getting the credit it deserves, but keep doubting us. Keep thinking we're only here because of the schedule. If and when we beat the second coming of Tom Brady, the all-world quarterback, in I keep wanting to call him Jason Statham, but it's Jared Stidham. What are you going to say? You can't say that, oh, you got to the Super Bowl because you had to play the Denver backup, because the way y'all have been talking Jared Stidham up, he was literally the secret weapon that Sean Payton has been waiting to unleash on the NFL. And so when we beat him on Sunday, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear about how, of course, we got to the Super Bowl because it was the backup. No, you guys have literally said he's better than Bo Nix, and they've just been holding on to him. So here we go to Denver. Here we go to Mile High, where they are not allowing Patriots fans to buy tickets. If you're that confident in your team and your players, why won't you let the Patriots fans have access to tickets? That's all I want to know. Riddle me that. But here we are, baby. Hopefully I'm back next week wearing this same thing. Still here, because we will have punched our ticket to the Super Bowl. One can only hope. Go Pats!